Hello and welcome to another video from fantasyfootballscout.co.uk. Today I'm joined by Neil to talk about the best fantasy Premier League captaincy options for game week 16. Neil, welcome. How are you?
I'm not too bad, yeah. Rotation in full swing here as well. We swapped roles this week, me and David. So I'm on the captaincy, and he was doing the team news, I think, on Tuesday.
Yes,
But
it is. It's very hectic. The game weeks are coming thick and fast.
yeah,
It's barely time to catch breath, but it's also a hell of a lot of transfers are being made this week, and some of those who are being transferred in huge numbers we're going to be mentioning today. So let's start off by talking about Harry Kane. Now this looks another on paper fantastic fixture for him. He's away to Leicester. He loves to play against Leicester. In fact, over his last three league encounters, he has scored an impressive 7 times. So that's very impressive indeed. So that looks good. But any issues can you think of where you think that might kind of caveats about captaining Kane for this one?
possibly. He certainly timed his return to most people's teams this week with a well-timed double-digit haul. Um, this was, game week 15 was seen as the fixture swing for Spurs, and a lot of people made a move for him. And looking at the attacking stats for the last 6 game weeks, he's right up there. He's had the most number of shots amongst them FPL forwards. He's had twice as many shots on target as any other forward. Um, One caveat I would say is that he's still not as active in the penalty box as perhaps the front runners are up front. So he's only had like half the penalty box touches that Callum Wilson has, for example. So Kane's had 22 and Wilson's 41 in the past 6 game weeks. So that is still a viable concern, I think. That he remains that frustrating tendency to drop deep, even though he is picking up in terms of number of shots. And as Spurs fixtures ease off, you would expect those penalty box touches and shots to increase. He's certainly up there with the leading candidates this week. I would say that Leicester have been quite good from an underlying defensive perspective in the last
Yes.
4 game weeks.
Yes, I noticed that as well.
Yeah. Now, no side's conceded fewer big chances, if you lend any weight to those stats. And they're third for fewer shots on target during that period as well. But I watched the Fulham Leicester game last night, and they conceded a lot of opportunities. Now they were missing Maguire and Evans at centre half, so they had Morgan and Kaglar Soyuncu at centre half. That's his name, and they looked quite open. Now they did make a lot of changes, and you'd expect the likes of Pereira to come back into the team at the weekend. But yeah, Leicester perhaps not quite as convincing defensively on the eye as the stats have been suggesting.
Yeah, well, one thing I did notice as well, underlying stats as well, is at home as well. So they're amongst the best five sides at home in terms of conceding shots in the box as well. So they're up there alongside Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Everton, and then Leicester. There they are at fifth. So that's another indicator. But as you said, over the season, their personnel at the back has changed.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so I mean, there's a slight caveat there. Also, I suppose the fixtures as well, because they've got Champions League as well. Spurs.
That's true. Yeah.
The following week, and I would imagine I mentioned this on the Scoutcast. My only concern about Kane, really, if we think that Leicester are there for the taking, is that his minutes may be curtailed slightly. With an eye on that crucial game, really, if they've got any hope of progressing. It's a slender hope.
It's on Tuesday as well, is it? I think that
Yeah, I can see. I mean, I wonder with Ericsson playing and starting midweek whether he may be rested. He's obviously vital to them. Trippier may or may not have a knock. That may continue, so he may be rested. Dele Alli was rested midweek, so I would imagine he'll play as well. And of course, he can play in a more advanced position, as can Son and as Llorente as well. Now, I'm not suggesting for a minute scaremongering that Harry Kane's going to be benched. I don't think he will be, but I do think there is a very real possibility that we might see him subbed off if they're doing well around the 70-minute mark. But obviously, if they're doing well, probably because Harry Kane has scored.
That's true.
Now, top of the captain poll is this chap, Aubameyang. Unsurprisingly, really, given his recent form. and also the fixture is at home to Huddersfield. So what about him as a captaincy option, and also his teammate Lacazette?
Yeah, yeah. If you're just looking at the fixture list, that is the match that leaps off the page. I understand why he's so popular, given his form, and the fact that so many of the rivals for that captaincy this week are away from home. Now Lacazette is there as well. I mean, he hasn't started the last three, and we've seen earlier this season, first three game weeks of this season, that Emery can be quite dogged with his team selections. That he'll resist the calls to play both of them together. Now Lacazette scored or didn't score, depending on your perspective. Last night it was ruled a Marcus Rojo own goal in the end. So he might enter Emery's thinking this weekend. There's a slim chance, and I don't want to scaremonger again, but there's a possibility that if he does stick with one striker, then Lacazette comes in for Aubameyang. Now we don't know that. We don't know the team news yet. We were just discussing off air that they've got a few injuries at the moment, Arsenal, so they've been playing with a wing-back system, 3-4-2-1. But Rob Holding sustained quite a serious-looking injury last night, and they haven't really got another fit centre-half. Koscielny and Monreal still working their way back. So that might see a change back to a flat back four, perhaps, which may mean Aubameyang moving over to the left flank and Lacazette coming in the centre. Yeah. We just don't know. There's a lot of variables at this moment. Just looking at Aubameyang personally, his stats and stuff, he's sort of defying predictions at the moment. He's had half the number of shots in the box that Aguero has this season, but his goal conversion rate is amongst the best. Now, for all those people thinking he can't make this last, he can't sustain a goal conversion rate of 30.3%, which is what it is at the moment. His goal conversion rate last season was 32.3. So he can. He can. Huddersfield at home. Huddersfield have been showing a bit of defensive improvement the past couple of weeks, but they're going to be missing Philip Billen this weekend, which I think that's quite a big miss for them in defensive midfield. Yeah. So he's certainly, I would say deservedly, the front runner for the captaincy at this point. Though there are a few reservations I have about him playing the whole game and indeed as a central striker.
Yes, I think those who have him, I think yes, he looks like the ideal captaincy. Yeah. Lacazette as well, I think could do well here. I was looking at the underlying stats for Huddersfield when they're away from home, and they're one of the worst in terms of goals conceded at the side. So Fulham have conceded 20 on the road, Southampton 19, Burnley 17, and Huddersfield 16, Cardiff 15. So they're amongst that lot, basically. These are the teams where you want to be targeting players, putting the armband on them when they're facing them. So yeah, a great option, and Lacazette as well. Now, here's another option, Salah. Now, Salah, I wasn't thinking of captaining until I saw the team sheet midweek in Burnley, and I saw that he'd been rested. He did come on. He did actually create an assist as well, which was good news for those who put the armband on him this time around, yourself included. But what I think now is that I think he's actually a really good captaincy shout this time around, because this time, okay, so he hasn't got a lot of double-digit scores, but I think this time of year with the fixture congestion, you want to get down to basics. Will they play? And his benching midweek suggests to me that he will play. His assist when he came on suggests that he can get those points as well. Another thing that stood out to me really was Bournemouth's awful defence, really. The Cherries last earned a clean sheet back in game week 10, I believe. Yeah. And Bournemouth has conceded more shots in the box than any other team over the last 4 game weeks. I've probably just stolen your stat there. It's a goodie, isn't it?
That was a good, yeah.
But what's your opinion of Salah, even though I've just stolen your thunder? Probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a wild card at the moment, and Salah would be a make-weight for getting some of those bigger names in, such as Aubameyang or Sterling. Now, that is making me think twice about ditching him this week. I captained him on Tuesday as well. Wednesday. And I celebrated that assist like it was, a 20-point haul. Like you say, looks like he's going to start. Caveats: he hasn't got a double-digit haul this season away from home. 9 points was his best against Palace. They've got 4 blanks and 8 away from home. But as you say, Bournemouth, we sort of heralded the defensive solidity early in the season. They'd make a lot of improvements. But recently, and yes, the fixtures have stiffened a bit, but just taking Tuesday's game against Huddersfield as an example, they conceded 17 shots in the box to Huddersfield at home, which would fill you with a lot of optimism if you were captain in Salah. It's one of those that doesn't leap off the paper initially. You think Bournemouth playing quite well this season, but the more you look into it, the more I'm sort of coming around to your thinking that he's actually quite a decent punt this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's between Salah and Kane. For other people, with the luxury with Aubameyang or Lacazette, be for them as well. But underlying stats and the fact that Salah has got his rest out the way in the league. That says to me, I think I might go Salah over Kane. Obviously, I'll be glad if both do well. One fixture I'm avoiding, looking at the captaincy for, is Man City with Chelsea. But I might be wrong there. What do you think of their assets, in particularly Raheem Sterling, who also got a rest midweek, which indicates he will start as well?
Yeah, I would put my neck on the line and say he'll almost certainly start. I probably wouldn't touch this for my armband either. But you wouldn't bat against City going and turning Chelsea over. Certainly the way Chelsea are playing at the moment, they were sort of below par again last night. Now, Sterling's played every match against the Big Six this season. And Sane hasn't started one game against the Big Six in those 4 fixtures. So I'm thinking that Sterling might be on the left flank this weekend, with possibly Mahrez on the right. We'll save that for later in the week with the team news. Yeah. Now, away from home, these are the minutes per chance rates for the 3 of the names you've mentioned already. So Liverpool, Tottenham and Man City are all away from home this weekend. Salah is averaging a chance every 21.7 minutes away from home. Kane is 26.8. And Sterling is 50.2. Now, the disclaimer to that is Man City had some tough away games. And we saw Sterling's last away performance, because he got benched in midweek, was at West Ham when he scored 16 points. So yeah, I think that average minutes per chance is slightly being weighted because of those tricky away games. But Chelsea 7 clean sheets in 15 this season. I'm probably going to draft Sterling into my team, but I would stop short of captaining him. I think there are other options, probably not necessarily with more attractive fixtures, but with more attractive opponents, but with sort of deeper underlying stats that would encourage you more. I think there's just too many doubts about that fixture away to Chelsea, as off the boil as they've been in the past couple of games. I probably wouldn't be taking a chance on Sterling, but he could easily just prove me a complete idiot and then go and deliver another 10.
I was looking at some underlying stats as well, and I agree with you as well. So a lot of people look at the last 4 game weeks and they say, hey, look, Chelsea have conceded 5 goals.
Yeah.
But they're actually second best in terms of shots in the box conceded. So Liverpool have conceded 16 over the last 4. And Chelsea have conceded 21. But Liverpool have only conceded 1 goal over that time. So that suggests that Chelsea perhaps should have been conceding far less goals. That indicates it could be tight. Also, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th best in terms of shots in the box conceded. Well, that's Man City. So that indicates you've got 2 quite good defences there.
Yeah.
But we have seen that Chelsea have been conceding these sloppy errors, really. So if they can tighten up those sloppy errors, but Man City are probably not the team that you want to be testing out any new attempt to tightening up sloppy errors. But you definitely got to get it right for Man City visiting. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can ever rule any of Sterling out. But yeah, I think there are better options this week as well. I mean, looking at the other fixtures as well. Any other names spring out to you as possible differential captaincies?
There's few and far between, really. But I think Richarlison, Everton's at home again against Watford. He got a 10-point haul last night. Now he was back on the left flank last night.
Yeah, looked better, didn't he?
He did. He looked a lot better. Now, whether he's going to be there the weekend, on Monday night, I'm not too sure because Bernard and Walcott were both rested, and Cenk Tosun came in and had another stinker, I think, up front. So I wouldn't be surprised if Charleston's back up front for that, with Bernard and Walcott coming back in. But yeah, game week 15, no midfielder had more shots than Richarlison. So he was definitely on song, and he's probably the best of the rest, I'd say. But much like Sterling, I think I'd stop.
I mean, I think I think Everton players, Sigurdsson as well is worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Both Sigurdsson and Richarlison, what they've got going for them is the length of time they've got between the fixtures.
Yeah.
So they're going Wednesday through to Monday. So this isn't going from Tuesday to Saturday. This is they've got that little bit more time to prepare as well. Also, manager up against his old club, Richarlison up against his old club as well. I think there will be a certain amount of passion, you would imagine, towards this fixture more. I can see Sigurdsson playing, I can see Richarlison playing, and I think you're right. I think Richarlison's going to be back up top, which, to be honest, he has done okay. He's done okay, but yeah. If I was Richarlison, I would rejoice if I saw him out on the wing, because we've seen what can happen. But for now, Neil, thanks so much for those your views on that, and sorry for stealing one of your stats. And good luck with the game week, and good luck with your captaincy choice.
And to you, Joe, all the best.